Welcome back to the LEC Quickshot and Ender, about to bring you SK versus Vitality. I actually don't know when to turn.
Where is it?
We keep moving the cameras around and having some fun with it. Because we are in studio. We are about to jump into another game. And this is very interesting to me because SK were one of the teams that I did not expect to be so competitive, to be so scary on stage, and right now they are very, very close to playoffs.
They're just on an absolute tear. Like I'm a little scared of this team, honestly. I think any team that sees them, like, will they stop winning at any point? Because it really doesn't feel like it right now.
It definitely does not. Their opponents today, Vitality, can play spoiler, can create some heartbreak. Let's jump into draft for SK versus Vitality. Let's see what SK can do today. The last time that SK Gaming was on a 5-game winning streak was in 2015.
Oh my.
In spring. They ended up finishing with a 7-game winning streak. And right now, they are looking in form. This roster is doing exceptionally well. Jezu and Treats are the players that are capturing the attentions of everybody. Kalista and Twisted Fate banned away by Vitality. Seraphine and Thresh removed from the pool.
Yeah, I think that Kalista ban's a smart one for Vitality. I think if you look in terms of the key draft differences in a game like this, it's primarily going to be about that bottom lane. Jezu and Treats, all about the highly aggressive, explosive 2v2 lanes you can get in the bottom side, whereas Crownshot has been far more reserved. You know, 2 games on his signature Ezreal, a couple games on that Xayah 2 here for him. So that has definitely been the story of Vitality. It has not been so much about the early game in the bot lane for them as it has been for SK.
No, it has not. And Rell will be a very high priority pick. Treats has played that twice already. He's won both games that he played. And when he has his hands on a playmaker, you need to respect it. You need to be aware of what he can do in game. Team Vitality now can have to look for a reply. I'm very interested to see what Vitality can do because their record does not necessarily speak to the fear that so many of the other LEC teams talk about when they discuss how Vitality play in scrims and you know, how they're performing off stage.
Yeah, everyone's pretty much rating them relatively equally with a lot of the teams that are in the 7 to 10 spot at the moment. So this is definitely a squad that can play spoiler to a lot of the teams trying to find their way into playoffs. Already immediate range scaling for Vitality, so trying to set up a team composition that can stay away from the Rell, and that is one of Rell's, I mean, I guess you could call it a weakness, is that, you know, getting all the way to the backline should in theory be difficult. Now with her flash crash down into the Magnet Storm, it hasn't always been realized, but now with 2 ways to push her away from a fight as well as some mobility themselves, it does give Vitality options. I wonder if we see the All-Star as the answer into the Rell. I think a lot of people have been fans of that, you know, can knock her out of her crash down there. But as far as Vitality is concerned, they need to build a composition now with the front line to support the scaling of this.
I love the fact that Tinks just locks in the Hecarim, sees the Azir, sees the Tristana, is like, I'm gonna jump into your face.
Exactly. It's like, well, if Rell could potentially be kited away, you know what can't be kited? Unstoppable onslaught straight into the backlines. And comboed with an Orianna ulti there too. SK have said, well, if you're gonna try to stay away from us in the fight, we're gonna take the fight directly to you. And that is a deadly, deadly combo. Either target you put the ball on, that is insta-kills.
You have to think that Kai'Sa will find herself in the ban list. Jezu is not yet locked in his champion, but when you see Hecarim, Rell, Orianna, I definitely think it's one of the ADs that can complement the team composition that SK are putting together. Vitality right now will ban away the Sion instead. And see what sort of matchup will be happening up in that top lane as Jenax versus Shigenda is a matchup that I want to pay attention to. I think Jenax is one of the players that has continually surprised me. Every time I'm like, oh, I'm not sure about that Aatrox pick. He makes me sit down and shut up because he delivers over and over.
No, GenX has really found his footing on these bruiser top laners. The Aatrox, the Renekton as well have continually surprised players and fans around the league. Him showing up big time in those later stage team fights. Not the kind of guy that, you know, destroys you 1v1 in lane, but when it comes to playing with his team in fights, he knows exactly how to execute. And it almost makes you feel like that experience as a mid laner, knowing what your backline needs out of a frontliner. Well, that's definitely paying off for him. Now, with the Kai'Sa not being banned away, I think this is maybe indicative of, well, Kai'Sa into the Tristana can struggle a little bit. Tristana does pretty good in the trades into her, and of course, the later you get into the game, her range can become very, very obnoxious. But still, a very strong combination paired with that Rell, like you mentioned.
And they'll leave their last pick to the jungle. See what Skeens wants to run, what options will be available to him.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. Not sure. We'll see if the Sivir will be locked in and whether or not Rekkles will approve of the performance. Instead, small pivot away. And now SK will start to see how they actually round out their team composition. SK, one of the teams that is higher up on the standings, and GenX will be running the Renekton into the Gnar. Now the AD pick is the last thing that we're going to see. I mean, it's a death ball composition if ever I've seen one from SK.
I mean, honestly, I kind of like the Jhin here if they want to go with that. It would speak a little bit more strongly to 2v2 power than perhaps a Sivir would. Of course, with his long range, both snare and ultimate can be very good at locking down Team Vitality from a very far way away. And they're going to lock that one in. So SK, very strong team fight, a lot of effective range in the way that they can sprint at you, start off fight, still follow it up with their backliners. The Orianna and Jhin can do damage from pretty far away here too, and looks like Skeens is going to try and make SK pay the QSS tax here. As many targets as he can.
Question is, will SK pay their taxes? Zanzarah will be asking that question. The thing I love about Vitality's team composition is they've got some non-traditional engage tools, of course, but I love the disengage. I love the fact that if anybody jumps in, you do have the Buster Shot, the Emperor's Divide, hell, even the Impale, to single out a target and maybe allow then your Azir and your Tristana to push SK Gaming back.
Yeah, exactly, because you have to buy space for your backline here, for Team Vitality, and you know Hecarim's going to be coming from one side, there's going to be a Rell from the other, and a Renekton from the back. It's just too much to deal with here with a lot of these disengage options. So Vitality have to be on point playing for their backline here, whereas SK, it's all aboard the pain train. They've got all the ways they could ever want to start off a team fight.
You have to protect Melitza and Crown Shot, and SK Gaming have to kill them. Let's get on the Rift. I was just taking a look at those team compositions, and I see a lot of damage options on the side of SK. And then I see 2 damage sources on the side of Vitality. Now, 2...
Gnar's like, I'm a champion, Trevor, notice me.
To be fair, I think his job in this composition...
It's not to deal damage. No, you're absolutely right. I think it's more of a bit of a Gnar meme here, trying to... He's not quite a tank, not quite a damage dealer. What does he really do? He tries to do his best, Trevor. I think that's all you can ask out of the little guy.
Jack of all trades, one might say. But what I do think is very, very interesting then is seeing how Vitality actually are going to, set up for the skirmishes and the team fights later into the game. They have absolutely no margin for error because if Melitza or Crown Shot do get removed early on in a team fight, they are going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, for SK, can they find them? Can they get to the very long range and to the deep backline? They're going to be a long while away from that. Let's talk a little bit about the lane matchups and where you think there'll be some advantages.
Well, I think top lane and bot lane is primarily where we're going to focus. Since the camera's here, let's talk about the bot lane. You notice the rune choices from Vitality's bot is where it's going to get a little bit more eccentric. The Halo Blades, of course, allows Crown Shot to take really good trades with his explosive charge. Stack that one up very quickly. Also, the Phase Rush on LeBron, pretty standard for the time being, but will mean less tanky in these all-ins, especially in the early levels before he can quickly proc the Phase Rush. And you can see him taking a little bit worse of a trade on the back end, but once level 2 comes in, and even now, he's very good at interrupting that CC, although he doesn't there.
Oh, a lot of damage going down. Jezu backs away, doesn't want to fight into the minion wave, and waited for that charge shot, the explosive shot rather, to pop. Now level 2 advantage to Treats and Jezu, as we've come to expect from this duo. aggressive, in your face, and I think in contention, you could argue that they might be one of the best duo lanes in the LEC. They definitely continue to show up. And while that's going on, Melitza will be forced to flash very early. Tinx just shows his face in the mid lane.
Yeah, you know, I was wondering if Hecarim would maybe look for a cheeky little level 3 gank towards the top side if Shigenda was too overextended, which he's not. Instead, on his way to bot side, takes a very easy flash, and that could open up some roam potential for Treats later into the game. We just saw, you know, an Azir get very bullied early on by some support roams, and Treats definitely a guy to leave the lane and make an impact, especially where there is not a flash. We'll have to keep our eye on that, especially pre-level 6, because without that Emperor's Divide, without a flash, Melitza can be fairly vulnerable.
I mean, look at how Jezu and Treats are trying to push Crown Shot and Labrov away. They are clearing out the minions, pushing this into the turret. Looking at the minimap for Tinx, he's now making his way towards that bottom scuttle. He's elected to go for that ghost, as you do, on the Hecarim, and will have the full support of his duo lane. Do you think the 4 damage comps versus the 2 damage comps, how do they impact or scale, you know, later into the game? There's such a stark difference, and you may not actually be able to explore that thought.
Yeah, well, they're on a ward, so Vitality should be able to disengage this, but I don't know if they did it in time.
They definitely did not. That was a very good rocket jump from Crown Shot, but Labrov did not flash. First blood, Jezu.
That's just rough, man. There's a ward that sees him coming. I actually think if you look at it, some of the vision looks like it gets cut off based on the terrain there. So still, I think should have had an opportunity to escape from that one. But Tinx very active very early here on the Hecarim. Not even wasting any time to let himself farm up towards level 6. Mid lane got a flash, bot lane gets a kill there too. So really good stuff out of the SK jungler.
Exceptional. 4 minutes into the game and has allowed SK to pull a 700 gold lead. Has allowed Jezu on the Jhin to pick up that first blood. Jezu and Treats have already been playing very, very forward in that lane. They'll be able to continue that one as Labrov will be the first support to kind of make a move. But this wave is pushing towards blue. He'll be able to fall back to the tower very quickly.
Yeah, I do like the idea from Labrov. Of course, he died, so technically he has the first reset, if you'll call it that, a window where he can hit mid lane before Treats is able to get back onto the map. I think SK are expecting it, even without a ward, to spot him out. They're like, no, no, no. This All-Star is in bot lane. That means he has to be somewhere else. It's either mid lane or top lane, and well, mid's the more expected target there, so he's just gonna run around, waste a little bit of time here before returning into the bot lane 2v2.
I mean, Tinx, you mentioned it, like the impact he's had in the early game. Tinx is definitely surprised this spring. He was played a number of splits in ERLs as well as EU Masters. And was one of the players that I had the pleasure of meeting and shoutcasting back in Leicester 3 years ago.
Wow.
And it was one of the guys that really stood out. And Tinx now going to try and make another play. Level 5 and going to hold on to the dash, clear out the minion wave. Shigenda started to back away as JerAx stepped forward. But Tinx has been one of the guys that has been influential in the wins and getting SK to this 8-5 record.
And I think everyone's going to remember like the one highlight of the Dr. Mundo pentakill down around that Baron pit. But Tinx has been quietly a very solid performer from SK, while I think a couple of other players on the team have been picking up a lot of the credit. He works so well, especially, you know, when Treats wants to roam, Tinx is there ready to attack with him. And you already saw in this early game, no slouch when it comes to spotting out vulnerable lanes and punishing them too, as he just stares down Skeens. Man's gonna let his control ward be cleared away here because he's still not level 6. Once that comes through, well, now both solo lanes from SK have hit 6 and are ready to fight.
Waiting for the opportunity. Tinx is gonna try and challenge a little bit on that Skarner control panel.
Here we go.
One that goes forward. That's a flash from Crown Shot. Turns his attention onto Jezu. Jezu gets stunned in place. And this will be a 2v2 kill.
Beautiful.
Donated to Crown Shot. They come away basically unscathed.
And Crown Shot played that just about perfectly there. Jumps right on top of Jezu's face, flashes away from the CC from that Rel, and picks up that kill using that early all-in power. You know, he mentioned the Halo Blades on Tristana, very, very strong when it comes to those early all-ins, but they have to be careful because Tinx is around and not seen on any ward.
No ultimate available yet for Tinx. He's got to be close to that onslaught. We'll be able to get a charge.
It's like 1 minion away.
Continues to charge and put the damage down, but the shot comes out from Crown Shot. And that explosive one will do some damage. Tinx forced
2 minions. I
wondered if Tinx had stepped into the minion wave to clear it and then ulted, but ultimately Crown Shot and Labrov are able to escape with their lives. And now Jezu jumps back into lane.
Ooh, I like that play from Treats, though, walking into the brush, because you see how he sort of set up those minions? That should mean that they push back in towards SK. Well, forget that. They're just going to fast push this one, maybe pick up a turret plate, allow Treats to get a quick reset off, and make sure he's back around mid lane. At the same time, Labrov would have potential roam window.
A very brief window where I just want to remind everybody of what is at stake here for SK Gaming. There are 4.2 million scenarios left in the LEC. That's when you factor in every possible win and loss.
But we only have like 4 games left, Trevor. How does math work?
22 games. You give them to the power of 2 because of 2 potential results. And out of those 4.2 million scenarios, SK Gaming advanced to playoffs in 99% of them.
This is like 4-point-something million games, Trevor.
Crazy. It is crazy. So SK, a bit of a surprise hit here in Spring, but I do think we need to call out Fnatic, Rogue, as well as G2 in their remaining strength of schedule, and only Astralis being one of the easier games. But the way I perceive this is the strength test for SK.
Oh, yeah.
How good will they be? Because they are so close to playoffs. And so many scenarios get them advancing.
Yeah, and I think if you look at, not having to face 3 of those, considered top teams here in Europe in the second phase just yet, it's like, well, does this win streak actually mean that much? SK now have the opportunity in their final games of this season to make it to 3rd place, even to finish in 3rd. And we already know for seeding 3rd, 4th means so much now. What can they continue to do against Vitality? Because they are just a little bit behind in terms of overall gold, but I think now that we've seen level 6 come through, especially once Treats hits level 6, that opens up so much fighting opportunity for SK, and I think the best thing Vitality did was actually get the Drake before all those ultimates came through, because I think SK would be loving to find a fight just about now.
Yeah, SK Gaming absolutely want to combine their composition, use all the engage tools that they do have, jump onto Vitality before they get the time to scale, before they get the levels and the items under their belt. Tinks is going to be ghosting in. The unstoppable onslaught comes forward, and this should be a relatively easy kill until Labrov finally goes down as Jezu picks his 2nd of the game.
This is the way SK play the game. If they're not getting 2v2 kills, they're getting 3v2 kills, with Tinks getting involved on the bottom side of the map. They set it up in draft. They wanted all the engage tools they could possibly find for themselves, and they did such a good job of punishing Labrov again here before that All-Star gets access to his ultimate. So vulnerable with the phase rush, too very hard to stay alive and buy time for the rest of your team to come around and get in the zone. So SK now with that bot lane pressure, with level 6 on Treats, the Magnet Storm is ready to go. I think they're just going to sprint up towards the Herald. They're not even bothering recalling and going back to base. They say that objective is just about ours.
I mean, the threat of engage with Shockwave as well as Magnet Storm is so powerful. Vitality have to consider all options if they want to contest. Now, as I start to set that up, Treats is left. Treats is actually backed away, and Skeens will be able to jump inside the pit. SK playing that one a little bit cautiously.
It's really interesting because, Jezu made the call, I believe, to go back down towards bottom lane, continue to get the farm. Treats all aboard that too. Now, we are pre-14 minutes. This Herald will be used to chunk out and get at least 360 gold off some turret plates, which is no bad deal, certainly here for Skeens. He does have camps on his map to be farming, but finding this window before SK could re-attack the map and pick this one up is a good move by Vitality's jungler. It's such an interesting game thus far because Tinks has been absolutely everywhere, has ganked every single lane, has had a large influence on how SK have picked up their kills. But Vitality have been farming up a Storm. Their 2v2 is able to pick up a kill of their own. And it's Vitality with the objective advantage. The first Dragon, the first Herald. So Vitality are the ones that are being able to absorb any of the pressure that SK have put on them. And for the time being, feeling very comfortable. Do you start to get nervous for the SK comp if they go even into the 1, 2, 3 item phase? I do feel like their comp doesn't necessarily scale terribly, right? Like, you're always going to have the team fight setup there of a Hecarim and an Orianna. It's one of those that you can't necessarily count out of the game, especially as you go later on here. I think both teams have very strong playmaking tools, and really, I want to see Tinks continue to get involved. Level 8 here, but Skeens is in the area. We haven't seen that Impale used just yet, and we're still a long way away from any Quicksilver stashes. We really are.
Flash Impale's available.
Oh,
That's a
baby!
Flash Magnet Storm into the onslaught of shadows, but there's not enough damage just yet. Skeens is able to survive long enough for the Impale to let Crownshot get the kill. Treats dashes forward and Skeens escapes with his life. Now it's SK on the retreat. They started the fight and lost.
Oh, it was so close. Just 2 more auto attacks left needed to knock Skeens out of the fight. But it's Vitality able to bounce back. The Impale, the first one of the game, absolutely locks up Tinks, and there's nothing really you can do as that Hecarim. Once you go in, you're going to get shut down. We'll see it one more time because it looked so good at the start. The whole engage setup. Treats is like, get in here, magnets, baby. Doesn't quite catch Crownshot, but again, it didn't seem like it should have really mattered. Jezu, though, actually got interrupted. The flash knock-up there from Labrov stopped the auto from coming through on towards Skeens, kept Jezu just out of range. That saves his jungler's life and makes it a positive trade. Great play out of Labrov.
So huge in Crownshot, managing to just auto and remain untouched for the majority of that fight. Crownshot, of course, was the mid-season substitution for Vitality, and
whoa!
He's the one that's stepping up. Blue will get caught out. The Emperor's Divide, there's no Flash Impale, and I don't think Melissa really even needed anything more if Blue had stuck around.
Here we go, we're fighting again, Trevor.
Absolutely are. Tinks goes to try get away, gets rooted up, or stunned up rather, by Labrov. Support comes in from Jezu, and now the Herald in the mid lane is going to be bashing down the plates.
Look, Trevor, I'm going to hit you with an old one. That play around mid, that was a plate gank, we call it, right? You come flying on in, it looks like you're going for a kill. No. Dropping the Herald, getting some easy money, and now a Hex Flash over the wall. Melissa,
oh, Melissa just gets caught out in place. Remember, no ultimate available. It's going to be able to flash to safety and use the Conquering and Shifting Sands. But it is just crazy chaos across the rift.
It's so funny because we keep thinking kills are going to happen, but ultimates are just seconds away from coming up. Skeens didn't have his when he caught out Tinks in the river. Tinks didn't have his when they caught out Melissa in mid, but it will be that Infernal Drake going over to Vitality, stacking it away. It'll be an Ocean Rift as well. And Vitality just 10 minutes away, potentially, from an Ocean Soul.
This is very exciting for Vitality. Plus 1,300 gold, they've got themselves 2 dragons. The plate gank is a real callback. I appreciate that one. As Skeens was able to show his face, but you see the damage that Melitza's already putting down. He's already a threat to be worried about, or that SK have to be concerned about. And it is going to be very interesting to watch the team fights play out, because ultimately it does come down to, can you land the CC onto Melitza or Crownshot? Every single team fight, those are the 2 people you absolutely have to watch if you want Vitality to pick up that win.
And honestly, for SK, they have to be able to make that happen. And it's been such a good look from SK in the team fights with a lot of their engagers, Treats, Tinks, being able to fly on in and make it look good in games gone past. But they're going to have to take a chill pill for a little bit. Take it slow, because you look at the scoreboard down the bottom of your screen. 3 mythic items completed for Vitality on a lot of key players. There's just the Gale Force on Jezu bot side. So SK, and you pump the brakes just a little bit. They've got all their fight tools ready to go, but they have to be very confident if they want to go in before they take their next reset on the map. And they're lucky that there isn't a Drake on the map, because they're not going to be pulled in to try and fight over that objective.
I mean, it's 15 minutes in, no towers have fallen yet. I feel like we haven't said 2 words this game, and those 2 words are Jenax and Shigenda. The 2 of them have just been farming up in the top lane. Shigenda's built up a 25 CS advantage after Tinks tried to jump on him at, what, 3 minutes?
Yeah, I think that was the last time we saw this 1v1 matchup playing out. And Shigenda's built up a pretty sizable CS lead for himself, 30 CS, knocking down this tower as well. The ranged punch on the tower going very well. I'd actually like to see the individual gold between the 2 players. Thank you so much, observers. Yeah, 800 here for Shigenda. Level 11 has come through from him as well, and he's going to be one of those big team fight tools here for Vitality. Him working with Labrov, that's sort of the combination you'd love to see work very nicely. A multi-man knockup from the Alistar, followed up by a big old Gnar into a wall. These are the types of combos that work so well for Vitality. Blue just going to chunk out Melitza down to 50% HP and gain Prio back in mid.
Is this one of the games that will get to a Dragon or Baron dance, because both teams want to team fight and don't necessarily have the greatest side lane? I mean, obviously Renekton and Gnar can make some things happen, but it feels to me that we're going to be getting down to a gigantic 5v5 around a neutral objective And SK, they're already setting up for the next one, the Dragon.
Yeah, especially because neither team feels like they built up a huge advantage. Vitality, of course, with the gold lead, as well as the Drakes going very well. The Demolish onto the tower takes it very low. The next wave, he gets pushed into that top tower, and a little bit of extra time, he's going to be able to knock down. And frankly, no jungler, no player can really visit this top side. So again, it takes a monster trade up against GenX. You love to see that one. GenX should sustain a lot of it back, but again, that tower will fall very, very shortly.
And huge props here to Shigenda, being able to at least contain GenX for the time being. Dominus thrown out to hop over the minions. Slice and dice, that'll force the flash.
Okay. I really like the start of the play, the Stride Breaker, just to slow down GenX enough and deny the Ruthless Predator from coming out, but was forced to flash in the end. There were a lot of SK members running up towards the top side of the map too, which made him very uncomfortable. But you'll notice the trade-off for some top pressure for that Herald. Well, now bot lane completely exposed. There's deep vision too, so Vitality know they're alone down here. It's going to be a solo turret taken by Crownshot, and that is going to be a winning trade here for Vitality.
This is actually something to highlight. If Vitality can use the Azir and the Tristana for cross-map plays, the two of them are so effective and pushing those objectives down. And if they're left unattended for even the smallest amount of time, that's how Vitality can arrest map control. They got the first tower.
Yeah.
It's a minute until the next dragon, so I think they've pushed a lot of vision into SK's red buff jungle. Thank you, observers, for highlighting that.
Yeah.
So Vitality reset, buy, and get set up for the Drake.
And honestly, when you look at these cross-map trades, I feel like usually it ends up benefiting whichever team is down towards bot side. Because you have more players there naturally, your support and everything, you actually have much more dive threats. You can zone the enemy AD carry off the tower. It also enables you to get that deep vision leading up into a Drake fight. Here we go.
Melitza committed the flash for that one. The target is going to be Treats for the Impale. Here comes Crownshot. Not going to be able to do more. The Shockwave lands onto Melitza, and the root will not find anybody. So both teams unable to land the damage to a single target, and therefore SK survived. But Vitality have used a lot of tools before the
That fight was all gas, no brakes. Everyone's just trying to go on in there. What ultimates are left? We're going to get a TP in from GenX. He's got his ult. Shigenda too, ready to get into the party. Labrov, though, do they want to go in?
There's the target. The Shadows is thrown out by Tinks, turns his attention onto Labrov, kicks Tinks backwards. Crownshot is caught up, stunned. GenX is on top of him, and he's shut down by Jezu. One of the damage threats removed, and that means Skeens is left out to dry. He flashes over the wall, escapes with his life, and SK will get uncontested on the dragon.
It's a critical team fight victory there from SK. Not only does it get the kill onto Crownshot, it gives them this Ocean Drake, stops that stacking of the soul, and even gets a flash out of Skeens. One of the primary playmaking tools from Vitality is going to be him flashing in, snap grabbing a target, and pulling him back. But in that situation, it was just a comedy because him and the Magnet Storm, they're just pulling each other in.
And you can see what happens when Crownshot does not have the peel and the protection from the rest of his team composition, or is unable to get the kill in the resets.
And the fight's a little bit awkward here for Vitality. Melitza's just TPing in, so he's not here immediately. Crownshot goes flying in, he sees the CC target, but doesn't realize, well, there's GenX flying at you, and again, it's GenX in these team fights, finding the target he should never be able to find. Tristana with her ultimate with the dash, she has everything, but now 20 minutes, they insta-start the Baron, and they shred it. It's gone.
There's nothing SK can do. Didn't expect it, didn't have the vision, didn't even check it, and Vitality just sneak away the Baron after they threw away the Dragon.
I don't know what's happening in this game, Trevor. Just back and forth, back and forth. It's a fun one, that's for sure. The 20-minute Baron start. I mean, you have an Azir, you have a Tristana. I mean, they've got attack steroids and the Tristana kit. You can shred through that with the Liandry's Anguish as well. So all credit to Vitality for seeing their opportunity and taking that one. And they still maintain a healthy gold lead coming off of the back of that fight and that brilliant call.
I mean, I think it's so impressive when you think of Crownshot and Labrov, being bullied and beaten up by Jezu and Treats. They lost first blood. But with a pickaxe and the 2v2 kill of their own, it has been Crownshot that has helped unlock a lot of these advantages. But all credit to Shigenda in the top lane, to Melitza holding firm in the mid lane. They're doing everything they need to across the map. And
in this gold lead that you see at your top screen, 2.5K, it's actually bigger than I think that indicates, because you'll notice both Blue and Jezu, the primary damage dealers from SK, have gone into very early Quicksilver sashes. And, you know, being able to cleanse that CC, being able to cleanse the Skarner ult is important. important, but usually you'd like to get some value out of that. Like the MR isn't super valuable against primarily one magic damage dealer in Melitza, who realistically should not be hitting Jezu or Blue. So these items are very much the QSS tax, and they are feeling real bad that they had to buy them.
They really, really are. There's the engage onto Treats. No further follow-up or ultimates committed. The tower will remain alive for now. And as soon as Tinks shows face, this will allow Shigenda to push in the bottom lane. I mean, Mini Noah plus Baron empowered minions. And there will be some support from SK. Can they set up a kill? Shigenda will hop away to safety, and there's no engage. But it's just Baron imparted pressure, plus 3k in this Red Bull Baron power play, and they've unlocked the map completely.
And if Treats was going to force that fight in bot lane, well, you're likely losing an inhibitor. And you may not even get that kill either. It's just funny to see both soul laners from Vitality 0-0-0. But they've got CS leads. They've got the pressure now with the Baron buff. They've got a composition that can knock down these turrets very, very easily with the Tristana as well. If SK are not quick on the rotations going between the lanes. And that's exactly where Vitality want SK to be. If they're playing against this Baron buff, they're having to quickly rotate in between their lanes through their jungle. Well, that's exactly where a Skarner is going to find you, jump on you, pull you back, and get that kill.
There's Vitality in a commanding lead. I mean, that's 4,000 gold. We came into this game, we were saying that Vitality can play Heartbreaker, right? Out of the 4 million scenarios remaining, Vitality only advanced to playoffs in 0.94%. That's a tiny, tiny amount. So the odds and the storyline for that one, not likely. However...
Look, Trevor, you told me that SK was a 99% chance that they make it. So is the universe, is that the universe where SK don't make it but Vitality still do?
Because SK have done so incredibly well in the early stages of the game, and they've been able to pick up a lot of very effective wins against teams around them, even with the loss, if they lose this game, SK's number of scenarios where they advance drops to 99.2%.
Oh no.
Right? But what I do want to say is that for Vitality, if they're able to pick up a win here against SK, and you look at some of the other opponents, they can have a big impact on the other teams in the race for that 6th spot. And it's a little bit of proof to what we've heard from Rekkles, from Yamato, from the players talking about how in scrims, Vitality do well, and their scoreline does not reflect their skill level.
Yeah, no, Vitality definitely strong. You can see in situations like this, it can look good. They just got to find their Doctor Strange situation where they can get back in. They don't have to default to time travel just yet. They can wait a few more games before they have to reverse everything. And they're in a position now where they can close out this game and get themselves a victory. 30 seconds on the Ocean Drake. SK wanted to fight it last time. They're going to want to fight it again, but they're going to have to fight back through their jungle with all the extra Ocean Brush, making it so much easier for Vitality to set up a pick here.
All of the
Stop SK from getting in.
All of the disengage is so much more valuable when you're on the defensive of Vitality, pulling SK towards you. I think if SK want to start setting up the siege, they do have a very powerful Tristana that can step in and chip away, of course. But it also then groups Vitality up for theoretical engage on the SK side. This is the 3rd dragon of the game for Vitality. It's only been 5 kills across the 25 minutes. And this is not the result that I was expecting today. This is not the game that I was anticipating to watch. And Vitality, in just pure individuals, in the 1v1s, have been able to hold up to, and in many cases beat, their opposition from SK. I mean, Shigenda in particular, plus 50 CS, 0-0-0. I think there's been one fight where he was involved with his team, and nothing really happened, but he's playing his role correctly.
Yes, sir. He won that 1v1 match, and now it's just about when do we actually get to see Vitality find a team fight, because that's what we've been saying. They've got the back line to certainly back it up here. Crownshot just finished off his 2nd item, working on a Zeal as well, and just 40 seconds on the Baron. You'll notice there is some vision for SK, but it's not really around the pit. They've got one on the ramp there, a control ward that desperately needs clearing out here by the rest of Vitality. But Vitality are just going to walk up mid lane, walk up top lane as well, get those waves pushing in their favor, and then collapse through the jungle, get all that deep vision. I mean, look at that ward that's spawning blue right now. That's just absolutely beautiful. Tricky little spots that will give Vitality all the information they need to start the right fight and start it on their terms.
I just hold my breath when there aren't several members around. Like we just saw there, Shigenda, Melita starting to back away. They didn't have Labrov nearby, didn't have Skeens nearby. Melita will put the Sun Disc down, and Baron is up. It's only 26 minutes into the game.
It's the 2nd Baron.
It is crazy. I mean, they literally just snuck that away.
It feels like we're in the super late game, doesn't it, Trevor? Just the way the map's been played, there's no turrets left pretty much. SK operating in nearly full darkness. Just that one ward. In the top right corner of your screen, you can see right now, using the blue trinket now to scout out, see what's up. They don't have any blue trinkets remaining. They don't have good scouting deep into the pit, so SK is gonna have to face check.
And it's Vitality that start the fight. They impale Treats. He cannot use that ultimate. He cannot start the fight, and Vitality used their vision fantastically.
SK have 3 QSSs out of 5. But Treats doesn't have one. He's a sit and duck when he goes flying on in. And now Tinksy has his ultimate to try and go zooming into the pit, but he's not going to get the chance to get close here.
LeBron is completely zoning him away. The curtain call does nothing as the final shot made me cringe.
LeBron flank,
LeBron is looking for a target. It's Tinks that gets jumped on. Tinks has still got the ultimate and the ghost to escape. And that's what he's going to need to do. Remember, they're a man down. Treats died before that started. Vitality get the kill, get the Baron, and they are in absolute control of this game.
SK just looking a little bit lost here without any pressure on the map anywhere. How do they play the game? They have to walk face first into an Azir and a Tristana. That is not what you want to do. Or forget the tanks and all the people that are going to lock you down. You're never going to touch those backliners. It is really rough as third item completions start to come through from the Vitality backline. I'm going to say it's looking like the win streak is over for SK, and it's Vitality of all teams, bottom of the standings, but still spoken of very highly by teams, analysts, and players in the scene.
Vitality were on a 3-game loss streak, and they are just moments away from ending SK's 5-game win streak. Now, despite the fact that in the vast majority of scenarios, SK Gaming still will advance to playoffs, this does start to raise those questions, you know, start to put a highlight on areas of SK's game that they need to work on, that they need to think about.
Because who do they have coming up, Trevor? They've still got to get through Fnatic, Rogue, G2. And if you're dropping games against teams like Vitality, well, now that top 3 question, it's a little bit out of it. Shigenda jumps away, throws him off of him. And now Vitality, they don't have to worry about that onslaught of shadows anymore.
No, they do not, so they can look to see there's a teleport coming in. This will be, I think, Genax.
It's Genax's time to shine.
Looking for Crown Shot, looking for Skeens. Impale is available. The Buster Shot buys so much time. Flash forward. The Impale is rooting him in place. Crown Shot remains untouched. He gets the first kill. Rocket jumps away to safety. And now it's SK on the retreat. Shigenda starting to gnaw out. Can he survive long enough? Forced to flash. That's a great engage from Lebrov. The Pulverize sends SK packing. The last man standing is blue, and he is dunked for a triple from Melitza.
Lebrov had a rough start to this game. He got picked on in the bot lane, but over and over in these team fights, he shows up when it matters. Vitality lost the player at the start, but it's Lebrov to fly and get the 3-man knockup and lock up the game for Vitality.
Beautiful game from Vitality. Despite conceding first blood, they bounce back, and Vitality will take down SK. Let me time that again. Vitality take down SK.
Yeah! That's the hype they needed there. Vitality end the win streak of SK, and they give themselves a little bit more hope. 0.6 something scenarios, I'm sure that maybe has increased, Trevor.
For Vitality, before this game began, out of the 4 million scenarios remaining, 1% is what they had to advance. Now it's 1.8. But crucially for me, not gonna go like deep on that angle. What I want to highlight is that tomorrow, Vitality play XL. Next week, they play Schalke, Misfits, and Astralis. 3 of those teams.
That's every team they're competing with. Every team they're trying to push past. That's an exciting story. We'll see more if they can actually do the run.
If you are an SK fan, while this victory by Vitality will sting, you're now a Vitality fan. You want Vitality to eliminate all of their opponents. Nominees for Key Player of the Game. Vote on Twitter at LEC, Melitza, Crownshot, and Lebrov. Coming up next, we'll see if XL can end their losing streak as they face off against Fnatic in a monumentally important game.
We've got so many streaks this week. Do they all come to an end, Trevor? Do they all end?
Yes, they do!
They are out there, waiting to be discovered. Some of them are big, and some of them are small. But that's the thing with ideas. They don't just come to you. To find them, you have to move. Kia, movement that inspires.
That was my foot. Wait, I can't find the switch.
It's on your left?
Wait, I got it.
Oh god, that's not good. What did you do?
I wasn't supposed to leak that. Oh no.
No, wait, look, if we react quick enough, we can just pretend that we revealed it on purpose.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go.
Damn it, just roll with it.
And let's bring the hype music.
LEC Finals, 10th and 11th of April. Tune in.
Welcome back from the break. Vitality lands a huge upset victory against SK, and I'm joined by none other than Lavrov. Lavrov, congratulations on your victory for beating SK, which was on 6 games in a row. So you just ended the winning streak. How are you feeling? Are you happy, proud, perhaps even relieved?
Hello. Yeah, it definitely feels good.
Hello.
Winning some games in the LEC, and it motivates us even more for the next games.
And I wanted to ask, what changed for Vitality? You know, because Quickshot actually mentioned on this broadcast that Reckless and many other players mentioned that Vitality actually has a very solid performance on scrims. So how did Vitality manage to transfer its scrim performance on a stage for today's match?
I don't think we did something extraordinary. It just feels like we slowly start playing better with time, and I felt like if we were playing like in scrims from the start of the split, I felt like we would be actually a top team. So yeah, it feels better, but it's not the best feeling knowing the spot we are right now.
Still, it is good to have this upwards momentum, right? And you mentioned that, hey, we could be playing better, we could be playing closer to scrims, but you did manage to have a solid performance today. So what do you think changed? Was it the performance of the individual players? Was it the teamwork? Perhaps even confidence level?
I think probably everyone just stepped up than the previous games, and the game just felt more solid and more smooth, and we always had control whole game. So yeah, I hope we keep playing like this.
Yeah, and another recent change for Vitality has been, Crownshot joining the team a few weeks ago. And even today, Crownshot had a terrific performance on Tristana. I've been told that he has won Kia Player of the Game. How has it been for you as the support to adjust to a new AD carry in the middle of the split? How has it been working out so far?
In the start, I think it was quite tough, but overall with time, I think both of us have been playing pretty well together, and yeah, it's working quite well, I would say.
And another reason why people were so excited about Crownshot joining is that his stature as a shot caller, many people see him as an experienced voice within the team that could probably do a lot of shot calls. So I'd love to hear your take on this. What can you tell me about Crownshot's contribution within the team in general? Did it possibly help with the team having a better performance today?
Yeah, I think so. I think Crownshot as a personality, he's like someone that pushes everyone to do better. So yeah, I feel like it definitely has helped a bit on everyone like stepping up.
Okay, one last question. Again, congratulations on the victory against SK today, but it does sound like, at least from you, Lavrov, that you hunger for more, and Vitality still has a chance to make it to the playoffs. So what is the one thing that you as an individual or the team have to do in order to make the run to the playoffs? I would love to hear your take.
I feel like we just everyone needs to play way better, and even though it looks quite hard, I feel like everyone thinks it's possible. So yeah, we will try our best, and hopefully we can make it.
Yeah, crazier things have happened in the LEC as we have seen today. Congratulations on the victory and best of luck for the rest of the LEC.
Thank you.
Thank you. And after the break, we'll be back with the final match of the day, XL versus Fnatic. So stay tuned.
A